This broadcast is inspired by Karine Jean-Pierre, the 35th White House press secretary. She said silence is complicit. I am not complicit. This is Karine Jean-Pierre. The city of Delray Beach was just like that. Somebody without training wanted to sit at my desk. Crazy. I am not complicit, but I am old. I need to encourage all the older people in the business world and those who have discouraging circumstances. I am intrinsically motivated. Harvard Business Review always helped me in my classes. Now it's challenging my reasoning ability with satirical intent, defending a good company from bad investors. The covers of Harvard Business Review show that they really are good training for business. Keep a positive attitude no matter what age you are, no matter what your circumstances. Inspired by all the dakinis out there, Dr. Arikana Shimborikwa, Aisha Corey, Sandra Appiah, and Kamala Harris. Bill Gates is a global auditor. He wept in his video. He's giving $200 billion to Africa. I'm completing an audit. I have numerous videos from my 4 government jobs. I think that US $50 billion is what should be paid to 31 countries. Jean-Bertrand Aristide is a global auditor and came up with 21 billion for Haiti's independence debt, which was burdening Haiti using Canada, France, and I think they said the US. Dr. Arkana Shimborikwa is a global auditor and she exposed the IMF loan interest exploitation. United States used to get 1.9% to build all their infrastructure. Africa paid 9% to 20% interest rate. That means Africa was forever defeated. Professor Victor Go is a global equity auditor. Chinese merely putting a leg into the marketplace. Professor Zhang Weiwei is a global economist. I divert to the most emotional issue is that it was so easy to do for me to send my sons to Jamaica to my mother's house. My mother bought a house in front of the elementary school. I literally had to just jump the fence and go across the street. There was much more synergy that helped us through elementary school, but I won't give you the details. This picture is of 2 gifted boys. One is my son, one is my nephew. My nephew is now a PhD in neurosurgery. My son is dead. A judge was needed for this situation with a child in the gifted class, a mother who has been working since she was 17, house equity from the Denton business, which is my family's business from Jamaica, then New York and Florida, which my ex-husband worked for. We just want to keep women and children safe. It's about misogyny. How hot is it? How much can they get away with? When you hurt women, you hurt children. Does not matter how good the houses look. If you have no values, you have no values to give the children. Dr. Jordan Peterson said be literate and compelling. He's a clinical psychologist from Canada. He moved here. He said be tough and cool, make your own plan and be compelling. Here's one of his books, Maps of Meaning. The audit included some of the things I saw around town. Like, that's a man right there, and that's the water wasting. And I think about how the IMF has destroyed whole countries. In Africa, in South Cameroon, children haven't been to school in 2 years. And some children living in a cave in Kenya, they don't eat for 4 days. Donald Trump is putting sanctions on the ICC, and it is true that two American judges apologized to the African President Traore, but these sanctions are preventing global justice. The International Court of Justice also has something blocking it. I believe it's the Rome Statute, but we think that the 31 countries can push through because Africa was putting through to the ICC, especially since the United States court is invalid. Trump said they weaponized U.S. court. Before he said that, I thought they treat him like a clown in the United States court. They reversed Roe versus Wade, and Trump said we won the case at the ICC, validating international courts. So we have 3 points clearly showing the world, 196 countries, that the United States courts are of no use to people. So we must push through to the ICC and the ICJ. Here's an example of the American court failure. This case was on national TV. These are her sisters. I didn't know she had 3 sisters. I have 5 sisters, but I grew up with 9 girls, including 3 cousins. This was the worst case of misogyny. It was whole bloody. They cut her throat, and nobody got convicted for this kind of crime. I tried to talk to those sisters. I had to get some acronyms because this should be a book. It run you, your family, and your country into the ground. So the acronyms in the book are OFNA and WAPA. In my experience, Obama free phone, nigger gang stalking, bullying, attacks, and the bragging. I went to work in the north part of the state, and it seemed like they could identify me as a person who was in government who was running to the ground. And WAPA is the white approval and permission of attacks, because I do talk to the public. I talk to strangers. I ask them, how could you let the O.J. Simpson case proceed like that? I ask them, did you know? I try to let people think they just want to go to work, they want to go to Walmart, and they want to go back and watch TV. They protest, no kings, but they never change anything. So our domestic courts are compromised. There's evidence from what happened to me much earlier than the wartime. I was having gangs of police doing things to me, and the FBI did not care. So I told the CIA, because basically I told the FBI a lot and sent pictures, but they gave me a stupid answer. And so I decided I know the CIA is global and that they killed 83 people in Lebanon trying to kill the hell of Hezbollah. So I want the CIA to think. What I want them to think is, do they want people at desks in government getting the money and not doing the work? But I was going to send another message just like that, but I didn't do it. I just want them to think. Since I'm a global business mentor, I decided to promote one really good business each week. This is historical, and this is going to change the future. Cali Group, the CEO is John Miller, and he's associated with Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck. And this is what is replacing you. This is a restaurant robot. All the Cali Group restaurants have robots like this. And Florida Atlantic University has an administrative robot and a robot dog. I always go back to the main issue. It's very emotional. It was not about my house. It was about the gifted class and the school where my son tested gifted at 6 years old. That's my son in Jamaica, safe with my grandmother, his great grandmother. at the house across the street from the elementary school. The principal's daughter is a PhD in engineering. It would have been so easy to do to leave him in Jamaica to jump the fence to school, so he could be safe. Frank Papito has been in 30 countries. He said that we should not say have a nice day, we should say enjoy life. Frank Papito was a sound engineer. Traveling to 30 countries, he feels that music can bridge the gap of cultures and bring peace. The place that makes me feel less stressed out is north in Palm Beach County, and they're now opening a plum market. I almost applied to work at this wonderful plum market across the street from a small gourmet shop. Isn't that a beautiful market? It's gonna be close to the Ritz-Carlton condos, which are $4 million each. So that's very nice for them. John Sarbanes wrote the For the People Act, and he has many videos. I think that the video 4 for the People Act, video 4 of Senator John Sarbanes is one everybody should listen to. He advises to be silent and have integrity and work hard. Well, Alicia Curry is one of the celebrities who I like. She has a beautiful family, and she was sending some signals to us in the media. We're not really sure what they mean. Steph is a father like my father. When I was 9, my father demonstrated how Cuban fighters live. When I was 38, he drove me to work with the European Union and drove me to the Royal Air Force reunion lunches. My father was a Cuban fighter and a mechanic in the Royal Air Force and a Coca-Cola manager. Fortunately for me, I email my family all over the world and discuss the things we learn as children. I'm trying to retire from the United States. I'm trying to take us to the court. I think 31 countries can push through to the International Court. I told them heads together, and sad to say, right away they started bombing in Venezuela and killing in Trinidad. But all those countries, if they put their heads together, they can do trade, they can build their value chain, and keep their people safe in peace. This is the U.S. military in the Caribbean, and there's a lot of discussion in the media. But David Abdullah said we want the Caribbean to be a zone of peace. So here's 7 million protesting no kings in the USA. And that's what Americans like to do. They like to protest, even if it doesn't get anything done. This is the Paradise Bank. They closed a lot of banks and a lot of banks failed. Now they have this brand new Paradise Bank in Boca Raton. As Karine Jean-Pierre, the 35th White House press secretary, said, people are living rent-free in her brain. I just thought that expression was pretty interesting. Rand Paul, Bernie Sanders, David Abdullah, and Jim Carrey are calling it shameless. They're using other words, but shameless would really be a blanket statement which 196 countries would understand. We have to put our heads together forever, especially in the Caribbean. Jamaica always said one love. We had one love and we were out of many one people. We want to be a zone of peace in the Caribbean. This is my international human rights attorney with her peers. We're not really sure how much she'll be able to accomplish. She doesn't communicate a lot. She's trying to also be an MP. Thank you.